guys, what's up, and welcome to another episode of the Siobhan Speak Social podcast. I wanted to start making more frequent videos, which means they'll have to be shorter. And this weekend, boy, do I have so much to talk about. First of all, if you're not following me on Threads, make sure that you do. Siobhan Speak Social, but my personal page is where I don't know why. I should be more turbulent on the Siobhan Speak Social page, but on my personal page, I've been popping off lately with things that are pissing people off. But what happened this weekend? I don't know what came over me. I decided to post this tweet or this thread where I said, when I get my gym, it's going to have a MAGA is not welcome sign. I was hoping that I would be met with a whole bunch of LGBTQ members, Hispanic people who are not happy about the immigration, white people who are mad about the immigration, black women of all people, mainly black women who want a safe space. But for whatever reason, I can't tell if me using black women hashtags is suppressing my content or if it's just not getting put out to them. But I was like, all right, let me go broad. We went broad and MAGA found me, of course. I should have misspelled it. But also, I had big balls. I put it on fitness threads, knowing that fitness threads is an aggressive space full of gym bros and incels and teen girls. And are there normal people at the gym? Yes, that's why I became a trainer. But the majority of people at the gym have used their fitness journey. Pause. Clients that I work with don't just have a fitness journey, they have a life transformation. They have a mind and body, new embodiment transformation, right? I've noticed that some people who go to the gym that didn't really have to go through a weight loss journey or a body transformation journey, they just look pretty decent and then they got themselves to look much better. There's a difference between someone who goes to the gym to work out to build their confidence starting from ground zero versus someone who walked through the door and is already confident and now their head is high, big as all get out. And the reason, the difference is that people that I work with and people who use their fitness journey to be a personal development tool, they know it's not just about lifting the weights and counting calories. They know it's about discipline. It's about dying to yourself. Dare I steal that from the church? It's about becoming more, right? It's elevating yourself. It's evolving. It's growth. And a lot of people who didn't have to go through a transformation, a physical transformation, may be missing some of those mindset shifts that happen when somebody does. So with that said, gym culture can be very shallow. It can be very intimidating, even to me. It can be very clicky and overall overwhelming. So the idea that someone who is a triple minority, a black, female, queer, wants to create a safe space and says, I don't want MAGA there. And then I got fucking Joey Swoll. This is a new development. I was just going to talk. I was going to break down some of the ignorant and racist comments and show people this is exactly why we don't want y'all there. And how about the fact that most of the people responding are men? And I'm like, who said that you guys were even fucking welcome here? Okay, all that aside, let's talk about Joey Swoll, because I made it so that nobody could comment on my post unless they were following me. So that means this motherfucker went and followed me so that he could comment and then unfollowed me because I went to check his page. He wasn't following me. So I went and hid that reply. I wish I had it because I want more people to hand his ass to him. But know how to help me go unhide that reply, let me know because I want to do that. But anywho, this man goes and says, keep that shit out of the gym. He probably didn't chase shit. He doesn't cuss. But he comes in with his hoity-toity attitude, which is literally the reason that I don't want to be there. You being a big buff white dude saving everyone from gym trauma, you're creating more trauma too because you're picking up people who are recording. Some of these videos do need to be exposed, but a lot of what you're doing is just embarrassing that content creator and then embarrassing this. It's cyclical. You're just at the top of it, and so you can act like you're better. But this, like, it started off as something good, what Joey Swoll does, which is, calling out, kind of like Camp Call Out. He was calling out the bad people, but now people are calling you out, Joey Swoll. And I was so happy to see people in my comments tell him you're missing the fucking point, okay? This isn't about, it isn't about whatever your simple descendant of a fucking colonizer brain came up with, because I know that this is hard for them to understand, but everything on this earth is not their territory and it's not their jurisdiction. And the comments were showing that there were so many people who were unable to deal with the fact that they said they didn't want diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we said, well, I'm going to build one for myself. And y'all said, oh, no, that can't be. Your business is going to fail. And I'm like, really? How's Target doing? Because last time I checked, they were trying to have a meeting with Al Sharpton to figure out how they can get their coins back because they lost the black coins. So the people in the comments, I think the part that was pissing me off the most was nobody took 2 seconds to check my bio and see who the fuck I am and what I talk about and what I do. Because if you did, you wouldn't question for 1 second a decision like that. Okay, and just look at my profile picture, right? Why would a black woman want MAGA in her gym? Y'all know damn good and well why I don't want y'all there. And instead of addressing it, or instead of asking why, or instead of asking what kind of niche gym is this a private gym? Is this a public gym? What city is this located in? Instead of asking anything that would have helped them form an educated opinion, they just started spouting off at the mouth because they don't have any fucking self-control. Yeah, I did that all, it seems like, in one breath. Aldi's has, if you're a caffeine addict, and most trainers are, otherwise y'all will have a trainer who is not lively. They have, what is it, 69 milligrams, 69 milligrams of caffeine. It's berry citrus, is so good. And it's just a little sparkling water, a little antioxidant. No, this isn't an ad, but it should be. This is for when I know I don't need another energy drink, but need something to take the edge off. Okay, so let's get back to what we were actually going to talk about. Aside from Joey Swoll pissing me off, the usual, right? People in the comments asking, well, what rights have you lost? And I'm like, if I have to explain to you what rights I have lost, or if I have to explain to you that they are using smaller red states as testing sites to pass ridiculous anti-LGBTQ legislation so that they can then use the United States, like the smaller states, like Oklahoma with the Bibles in schools, and Iowa, or maybe it was Idaho, their anti-LGBTQ legislation, that is a testing ground for the rest of the country. But if I have to explain that to you, I now have to do emotional labor when I just wanted to freaking give you a training session. I now have to do emotional labor to help protect the rest of my clients and members of my gym because your fucking ignorant ass is willfully ignorant. Okay? If you go look on my TikTok, it used to be a pin video. Dude, this hair is getting on my nerves. Healing journey videos. There's a video where I'm in my white sports bra and I'm out behind the gym I used to train at, and I'm telling you, the thing says, why is it always about race with you people? And the conversation, you can go watch the TikTok if you want to, but I basically was saying how it was to be a queer black female trainer in predominantly white affluent spaces, and some of the things that I would hear and what I'd have to deal with and how I'd clench my teeth and how I just wanted to freaking, oh, just trip somebody. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, one lady, she was a Canadian, she was an Asian Canadian. And the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of my friends that are from Canada don't have the full understanding of American life unless they've lived here. And even when they do, they still need some stuff explained to them, just like I would if I went and lived in a foreign country. Yeah, I don't know if it's like foreign because it's like on the same continent. Anywho, the point is, so there's already that lack of understanding. There's knowing, and then there's understanding. The second layer is that she's Asian. There has long since been strife between the Asian and black community that's somewhat unspoken. If you don't believe me, go into a black hair store that's owned by Asians and walk around. If you're not black, take somebody black with you and walk around. Also, that whole model minority thing where it was like basically telling black folks, why can't you be more like the Asians? They don't talk, they don't disturb anything, they don't get in trouble, they work hard, they become doctors and lawyers, and boom. And it's like, well, did you? I don't even have time to unpack that one. So, anywho, her perspective on my worldview is going to be limited, just as my perspective of her worldview is limited. And her husband owns multiple, like, Volvo dealerships. So we're not on the same plane here. But in one of my very first sessions training her, if not my first session, we're shooting the shits. I'm doing some stuff with her, trying to get a feel of what she does and how she is. And she goes, yeah, like, I wish we could be friends, but like, wouldn't it be weird? 'Cause, everything's about race here. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? It's like, I have another Asian lady that I train, and she's a judge, and she's also taken me out into the community to go to voting events while she was polling or while she was campaigning and for the presidential campaign. Why, like, what does you being Asian have? Like, I didn't even say anything. And I was just like, I don't think that would be a problem. I have friends of all races and colors. My kid is like half of my family, majority of my family has married somebody white. So, like, there's all these little mixed kids running around, like, calm down. But, and then she goes on to say something like, and then why does everyone, I think I was trying to play it cool, and I was like, well, there's a lot of unspoken things that nobody wants to talk about, and we just need to deal with it. And she goes, yeah, but why do we need to talk about stuff from the past? They didn't own any slaves. And it was in that moment that I wanted to take her little 5'2" petite body and throw her like a torpedo through the window. But instead, the spirit of the Lord, the spirit of Mother Gaia, the spirit of my ancestors who said, not now, child, be patient, came over me. And I looked at her and I was like, my grandmother, y'all have heard this story before. You think slavery's so long ago and it doesn't affect us? Well, my grandmother, her little brother was hung on a tree in front of her house. She got to cut him down. So when I explained that to her, that like it's very close, the trauma still runs deep, racism, yes, the stuff we need to talk about. Remember, I had to explain to her that I have to sit my son down and explain to him how not to get shot by the police since he's a black male and he likes to date white females. I'm like, let your girlfriend talk, put your hands on the steering wheel, don't do anything, don't move, keep your hands on the steering wheel. I don't want to lose you. And I explained this story to her. And the lack of empathy or lack of understanding, fuck understanding, the lack of knowing, she couldn't even acknowledge. She couldn't even acknowledge that it fucking happens or that it's a totally different life from hers. She couldn't do that. And instead, the next time she came in, her husband was telling me this story. First of all, her white ass husband had a very, I don't know, it seemed racist to me, Asian name for her, like Xing Xing or something. Maybe it means something, but she kind of giggled and I just looked and I was like, is this okay? Are you okay? So anywho, he starts telling me this story about someone that she knew or someone in her family, someone from South Korea who escaped on top of a train with money sewn into her clothes. And then as her husband's telling the story to me and the gym owner, she looks at me and she goes, see, other people had problems too. And I'm just looking at her like, that wasn't the topic. The topic wasn't that nobody else has suffered but black people. You made an ignorant statement about us not being able to be friends because I'm black. And then I went to try to share my experience with you. And then you didn't even have space for me to share my experience with you. And she was MAGA. And this is exactly why I don't want to fucking have MAGA in my gym, because I'm just trying to train her. But I got to go through this weird, awkward, emotional labor of explaining to her, like, how just like, fuck, even if race was a thing, I wouldn't want to be friends with someone like you because I just opened up and shared a very private experience with you. But your inability to hold space for me lets me know why you would not be a good fit in a space that I've created that is supposed to be safe for people. Safe for people who are on the receiving end of your ignorance. Safe for people who are on the receiving end of your hate and your bigotry, okay? That's why the sign's going up. Either way, my client just texted me because she loves to show up 15 minutes early. I am a kind of we'll get started on time-ish person. So I gotta go. I will see you guys next time, and I'll be trying to get these episodes up shorter and more frequently for you. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share, because like I'd love to hear y'all's actual feedback in the comments, or let me know if you're feeling it. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.